Good morning, Inspired Nation. It's so good to be here. It's been a couple of Tuesdays since I've been able to jump on here and share our tips. So I'm excited to be on here. Thank you for joining us this morning. As always, if you're jumping on, if you'll notice right above the video, it says that we're hosting this through StreamYard. And if you're going to leave a comment, go ahead and click that button so that it gives StreamYard permission to tell me who you are. Otherwise, it just leaves you as anonymous Facebook user, and therefore I'm unable to address you personally. So make sure you go up there and click on that so that I can see who you are. Tell me good morning. I'd love to know who is on here, who's watching it. Even if you're watching this back on replay, make sure you put in the comments #replay. We always love to be able to go back and see. Today we have an interesting topic. It's one that I've spent a lot of time working with some individual clients on, and that's just how to boost some of your marketing that you're doing with social media. Now, obviously, these are just some quick tips. I can only go so deep into the material here, but I'm hoping with what I'm sharing with you guys today, this will give you a chance to go out there and just go take what I'm gonna call a glance or an inventory of your social media to see if you're taking full advantage of the opportunities of really kind of meeting your clients where they're at these days, and the stats and everything that are out there, depending on your industry, depending on which social media platform. I mean, people are online. This is how they're getting their information, and social media is a huge part of that. And so I want to make sure and spend some time today just giving you guys some quick tips that I think are important for, things that, we try to always go back and do with Inspired. And just like many of y'all, there are things right now, if I was to go back and do an inventory today, I would come up with a to-do list of things that we need to do on our social media. It's constant, what I always call it, it's a constant maintenance plan, but you need to be aware of some simple things that we're going to do. So I'm going to share 9 action tips today that you can do by going and looking at your social media. If for any reason you're like, oh, I'd like to know more information about one of the particular tips, put that in the comments, and I'll try to answer any questions that you have. Or if we see, then it may drive the next tips on Tuesday to maybe go deeper in a particular area that we're going to talk about today. So the first tip we're going to talk about with social media, and I think this is whether or not you're doing any type of marketing, whether it's traditional advertising, referral marketing, you have to start with a strategy. Now, a lot of people hear the word strategy and they think, okay, I have social media. I've set up LinkedIn, I've set up YouTube, I've set up all this, and that's the extent of their strategy. What I want you to think about is whether or not if you're setting it up for the first time, or you need to go back and look at your overall picture. And I mean your website, your business cards, your rack cards, your display tables if you're doing that, your PDFs, your headers, your images, all of that. Like, go ahead and pull everything out, or better yet, if you've got multi-screens, pull it all up. And what I want you to do is I want you to see how consistent you are with using your brand color, with using your brand logo, your headshot. Are you, is it important that you are in your marketing material, or is it that your product is, your company name, your slogan? Do you have it the same slogan across the board? Or, if you go to one page, does it look different than the other? Just be very consistent with that, especially with your branding and your coloring. Try to intermingle that in various ways, but be consistent with it. There's a couple of different tools you can go out there where you can look up, your colors that you've chosen and get the actual color code numbers, so that when you're working in different software, it gives you that option to do a custom color. Then you're being consistent. You're choosing your color palette versus just looking at the color wheel and picking a particular color that you think is the same one. Believe it or not, when you have it all out there, those differences can be glaringly different, especially when you're putting up displays and banners and things like that. Plus, it will help anyone out there that is doing any of your promotional items, or obviously if someone is doing your social media for you, you're not allowing them to guess at your branding and your logo. This is a good time too. I know a lot of people, obviously with Inspire, we do branding and we do logo work and we do all of that. So I run across this quite a bit where I'll ask people for, if we're doing their social media strategy or we're working on their branding, we will work on, I need their logos a lot of times. The UPS man just walked up on the door, so I'm sure you guys may hear Millie. So make sure your logo, that you've got it in all the different formats. So a lot of times people will make their own logos, and that's fine, okay? But do yourself a favor and really, I always say, get it done professionally, whether or not, or even get it done on a site, something where you get multiple formats of your logo, so that you get the JPEG, or the ones that are what I call a solid image, that if you put it on top of something, you can't see through it. Versus a ping image, or something that's transparent. You want to put your logo on top of an image. And so you need different varieties. You also need different sizes of your logo. It kills me when I go out to people's landing pages, or I got to people's Facebook headers, and they've thrown their images up on the header, and they're not using the right sizes. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. They're not using the right sizes. And so, it's either not mobile friendly, or the logo is stretched, or, it's distorted. So you want to make sure that you're using really good stuff. This is your business, okay? So make sure, there's certain places where you just need to invest into your image. Especially, these are things that you're throwing out there, that first impression. Okay, so you want to have a strategy, how you're going, what's your style? All right, so one of the things you might want to do is go out and look at your competitors and find something that you like. Do you like the way they post? Do you like the way it looks? Is it, are they using images? Are they using text? Are they, how are they using their brand color? What fonts are they using? And find something that resonates with you, and say, I'm liking this piece from this person. I'm liking this. I like their look. So when you go look at their social media page, if you scan down, sorry, I'm still fighting this throat thing. Is it consistent with their brand color? We're live, so here we go. Is it consistent with the brand color? Are they consistent with how often they post? Are they doing tips on Tuesdays or fun facts on Friday? Are they doing a post once a month? Are they doing contests? What does it look like? What story is their marketing material telling? And is it leading them, to the right place? Is it leading them to the right target market? And that's really something you want to think about. We could go a lot deeper here with the strategies, but that would be one thing. If you're sitting here thinking, I don't really have a strategy, let's start with that first, okay? Let's go out there and look at what you're doing. The second thing is keeping your material updated. And what I mean by that is, go look and make sure your contact information, your email, your websites, go double click the links, make sure. And if you're looking at it, sometimes when you're logged in, you're seeing it from your perspective. So you're not necessarily seeing it from, the user's side of it. So maybe you get on the phone with one of your strategic power partners and have them get on there and look at your stuff and say, click on here. Does it make sense? Is it easy? Because in your mind, it makes sense why you put something there. But, always go back to the other person and say, if I didn't tell you which way to go on this page, or I didn't tell you which direction I was going in, get them to tell you what they see. And that is a really good way of whether or not you're directing, again, your client base to, to the target market, to the product you're wanting to promote. So that's something that you might want to play with and really work with someone who's going to be honest with you, a strategic power partner who understands where you're wanting to go, who really wants to be a part of your success story, that's going to work with you and spend some time to make sure all your links are working. They're clicking here, it's going there, reading your material, letting you know if you've got a grammar error. I always tell everybody that it's important for us to all look out for each other. We all have different gifts, and we all have strengths where we have, but that means we also have some weaknesses. So look and see whether or not it makes sense. So update your information, your contact information. And here's the thing. Update your profile pictures and your headers every now and then. Just do a refresh. For some of you, it's almost like that window changing. I'm so lucky. When I was in college, I worked at a Hallmark store. And we had a beautiful display window. And so we were constantly updating our windows, so that we could catch the eye of those that were walking by outside of our store. And it changed, definitely season, but it changed every week. We were always refreshing it, putting new information out there. But that's something you want to think about. Again, stay consistent with your brand, but you can refresh so that, one, your stuff, people don't go out there and maybe your material is outdated and it doesn't look like you've updated it in quite some time. People may, perception is reality, right? So it could be that maybe you're not paying that close attention to your business, or that, you're not really out there to communicate with them on the page, so they'll just go somewhere else. And so you want to make sure and update your stuff and keep it fresh. Headshots are important. I notice this quite a bit. People will change their headshots in their personal profile and in their business profile, and you need to be aware that beside everything that you post, especially in your business post, everything that you respond to, everything you go out there, it's got, the little picture. And let's talk Facebook. It's got the little circle picture there. And it kills me when you look at that and you see people, they'll have a picture of their dog, or they'll have something out there that is, it's like their logo, but you can't even see it because it's been squished in, or there's pieces of it, or there's side of it. Do yourself a favor. The little profile, the little circle profile, whether it's on your personal page or your business page, it needs to be branded to you. Okay, it really needs to be branded to you. Use a shot where it shows your best self forward. Okay, if it means going out, look, iPhones and Android phones, these cameras take incredible pictures now. There is no reason for you to have this grainy picture out there that you've stuck over in your icons. Go ahead and take some really good shots. Pick the best one, put it out there, or use your logo, or combine the two. Your headshot with your logo on it. Create that branding images because it's in the profiles, when you're making comments, when you're making things. Be aware. A lot of times I won't even accept a friend request based off of the profile picture. I'll look and think, I don't even know, this person doesn't even look professional. This person's got, I don't know, they look like they're out of whack or whatever it is, but I'm sitting there going, I'm not sure that this is somebody I want to connect with on my business profile page in order to help kind of grow my business. I also look at, mutual friends and everything else like that. But, the first thing you see, whether it's LinkedIn, okay, or on Facebook, Twitter, everything, you're seeing that profile picture. So make sure it's professional and it represents your brand. Update your header. Okay, it's okay. Use your headers, a chance to update, promote what's going on with your business. Again, seasonal. Think of it as a window thing. The cool thing about it is when you update either one of those, it lets your followers know. It puts it as a post in your picture. And so it says so-and-so's updated their profile picture or updated their headers, and it creates dialogue. How many times have you had people go, great picture, great information, and it creates engagement on your page, and engagement is king when it comes to social media. So you want to make sure and give those opportunities. Now, I'm not saying going out there and changing it every single day, but when is the last time you've gone out and looked at your page? Is it branded? When is the last time you updated it? The next thing I wrote down here is update your pinned post. So I love the features that you can have in your business profile, that if there's something you really want your followers to see when they first go to your page, or you're making an announcement if you're in a group, you can make it as an announcement. You can even pin it to the top. But what you want to do is every now and then, if it's something saying sign up tomorrow, and that was 2 weeks ago, you need to get rid of that, maybe even clean up some of your posts, delete them, and just really go out there and just keep your information fresh. Okay, so you want to go out there and do that. Again, explore different social media platforms. And I am going to share in another tip probably next Tuesday on the different advantages for the different social media platforms. But there's a huge thing of being comfortable where you're at and saying Facebook is where I do everything and that's it. I'm guilty of that too. But can your business grow and attract a different audience or expansion of your target market by going out on Twitter and learning Instagram or learning YouTube and integrating your marketing strategy into those different platforms? I encourage you to go out there and look at those things. LinkedIn, that you use them differently. So you may have to look at your strategy a little bit, how you use one versus the other. But it's important to understand that that's important social media real estate. And are you leaving opportunities on the table? So you want to go out there and get more familiar with that. Something else that you can do is there's different software out there where you can build discount landing pages or lead generation pages that will integrate in some of the social media software, and it just adds a different tab inside of your social media. And those are some opportunities that you can do out there. Also understand that within some of the social media, Facebook has got a great their Facebook ad component now is almost like sitting in front of an airplane. There's so many tools that are out there that you can use, but they have a lead generation where you can actually capture leads, and it, the more you use it, the more you get information that is relative. So you can download, you capture emails, you capture, so you can build your list by using some of the tools that are out there. And so if you've never, ever played around with the lead generation option that's in Facebook or using a third party, then I encourage you to do that. Facebook has a lot of free tutorials. All you've got to do is go out there to Facebook Help and watch some of the information and just follow right along. And I promise you that the more you use, Facebook is very friendly to if you use their tools versus a third-party tools. So the more you can learn how to use things that are inside of Facebook or the other type programs, the better you're going to be at when you do pay for advertising or you do share posts and things like that. They're very friendly to those who stay within that social platform with the different tools. Your customer service. So a lot of us have grown up where the thought of customer service was in-person customer service, being friendly, having a smile, looking people in the eye, shaking hands properly, addressing people with politeness, answering the phone with a smile in your voice, all of these things that we had, answering the phone before it rings 3 times, all of these different techniques that we've had out there. And yet we forget that those type of techniques still need to be used on social media. If people are writing comments on your page and you're getting engagement and people are, even if they're just saying hello, go back out there and respond. I understand that a lot of times your response time may be, a quick like, thank you, whatever it is. But if people are engaging, go back and have dialogue. Thank people. Recognize your client base. Recognize your referral partners. Create that dialogue. Answer questions. If people are sending you inboxes, respond to them in a timely manner. All of these things feed into the algorithm that Facebook has. And, so you want to be able to go out there and have great customer service on your social media platform. Now, if you've got great branding going on and you've got great engagement and yet you're leaving those opportunities on the table, you may want to consider, because you're so busy elsewhere, you may want to consider at least a virtual assistant that manages your social media, conversations for you so that you're able to capture those opportunities. Again, I could go really deep on all of these topics, but this one is huge because, I do manage several people's advertising accounts on Facebook, and I can tell when they start getting really busy, there'll be a comment that might get missed, or an email that might get missed, or a lead opportunity that may get missed. And so I keep an eye on that. And so if I don't see that response time that's normal to my client, then I'll pick up the phone and go, okay, did you miss this one? Did you get this one? And so it's just so important. Just like you would never want someone to walk into your brick and mortar and ignore them, right? So you want to make sure, or the phone would ring and ring and ring and no one picks it up. So it's the same thought process. How can you take care of that social media engagement? Now, I'll see this a lot of times, and I'm saying this with a great big asterisk. There is some policies that you need to be aware of if you're going to do this, but you can host giveaways and content and contests online. However, you must be aware of the restrictions on different social media platforms, because if you fail to comply with what they tell you you're allowed to do on their platform, they can shut your page down, off. And so I see quite a bit of people who are taking some really big chances on Facebook with running contests to get likes and followers and stuff. I encourage you, if that's you, you need to go read the social media contest requirements that Facebook puts out there. And even with the disclaimer, they want you to put on anything you run on their page. So with giveaways, there's, so every platform has their policies when it comes to running contests. So there's some really great ways you can do it to get engagement, to get followers, to get likes, to get that, but you want to make sure you're in compliance with it. But it is a great way to increase engagement and increase people, recommending your page, liking your page, and of course, recommending it out to other people. So, you just want to make sure what you're allowed to do. The next thing I wrote down was make sure, and this one's kind of, you're going to have to do a couple of different things. Make sure you're posting things that people actually want to see. And that sounds really simple, but what I mean by that is you may have to start doing a couple of different surveys where you're asking people, or you're monitoring the analytics, like you do a couple of different posts and you watch how people are responding to those posts. Are people coming to your page to learn about your product? Are they coming to your page to learn tips? Are they coming to your page to engage with the other active members? And I say page and group interactively here. Again, make sure you're meeting your audience where they're at and you're providing the content that they want to hear. But also, and here's the biggest thing, right? Make sure it's content you want to see on your page. Like, it needs to reflect you and your personality and your brand and your company. And that way, when people do come and they engage, they're engaging with you and your company and your brand. And therefore, they're going to become loyal loyal followers, loyal clients, loyal customers, loyal referral partners. They're more apt to refer people to your page or share it when they know what they're referring, right? And so you want to be consistent, and you want to post and meet people where they're at. If you want interaction between your followers or your members, create posts that create conversations. So again, be very consistent. And if you're going to create a page where it's going to be engagement between you and your audience, so I say the group and page, make sure you have time. Remember that whole customer service thing. Make sure you actually have time to be consistent with your engagement. Okay, so that's very important. Now, everybody knows I train on referral marketing, but I always tell everybody I've never been anti-advertising. I've always been anti-stupid advertising. And that means advertising with no awareness of where your money's going, what it's going to do for you, what that return on investment is. And so I think it's always important to understand what your advertising portfolio needs to be. But here's the deal. If you have certain products or certain services, you may consider actually learning how to boost. And I say boost because I'm really nervous about that, because a lot of people see the instant boost that you may get or free credits here from social media, and you think, oh, I'll just hit this boost button and I'll do it. Okay, be careful with that. There is a strategy to advertising on social media, and just hitting the boost button, you could very well just be throwing money away, just as if you were throwing money away if you went to any other type of advertising and you didn't ask those important questions. You didn't understand how they were going to get to your target market. You didn't understand what your dollars per click or per whatever it's going to be, depending on your advertising. You need to be informed. But this is a great way to get a particular message or a particular discount out, or to brand yourself and really kind of put a message out there. And so, but you want to be smart with your advertising on your social media. And again, learn what works. And are you advertising and putting your money on the right platform for your business? So you want to make sure you have that awareness of what that is. And then the last tip, and it is back to referral marketing. Use your social media to your full advantage if you're doing referral marketing. Showcase your referral generators. Take a moment and go out there and do a shout out for referrals that have been generated for you. So thank that referral generator, recognize them, say, thank you for referring me. You may not be able to mention the client that was referred, but you can always thank the referral generator for, letting them know, thank you for recommending me. I appreciate you for being a part of my success story. Maybe you go out after doing a strategy session and you go out and post a picture of and tag that business and say something that you learned about that business that day. Do selfies, joint selfies. If you're meeting, you're getting back out together again in public, even if you got the mask on, do joint selfies and post them out there and say something positive about the other person's business. Highly recommend. Look for opportunities on social media to tag. Make sure you are friends and followers of their page so that you can tag them appropriately. I will tell you that the biggest growth that we have here with Inspired, the majority of our referrals, okay, listen to this, the majority of our referrals and our clients come to us from a referral that has taken place by a referral generator on social media in multiple ways. From tags to joint introductions in the messenger, to us just showcasing each other's business, to going out there liking and sharing posts. There's a multitude of ways that we are recommended and introduced out there by our referral generators, and vice versa. And the amount of growth that we have has allowed us to not have to do Facebook advertising and to not have to do, to do a lot of things. And it is incredible to know that that while I'm sitting here talking with you guys today, that I have referral generators that are, tagging my business, saying great things about me, and showcasing client reviews, and all of these things have helped me grow my business. And that's why I love to come out here and share these tips with all of you. Just like everyone else, it's on my to-do list this week, or my task list this week, to go do an inventory of my social media. It's something that Julia and I do on a regular basis, so that we try to stay consistent, because we're like everyone else. Every now and then we'll get veered off on a different tangent, and then we go look at our social media and go, where did our branding go? So we have to pull it right back in. So it is something that you have to do on a consistent basis. You need to know where you want to go, especially if you're going to hire out to a virtual assistant or a social media strategist. You need to have some kind of ideas of what you want, so that you can express that information, that vision, your goals to someone else. Or obviously you need to have a strategy so that you can have a plan to execute it. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's tips. I'm just a minute over here, but again, if you found value today, if you'll go and post that in the post, if you've got questions, if there's something in today's tips that you'd like me to share a little deeper information on this, I'll try to add that to our agenda for our tips on Tuesdays coming up. And then, of course, if you'd like to learn more about Inspired and how we work with our clients, we would love to have you visit our website at inspiredIgnite.com. That's INSPIRED, ignite.com. And right now we are celebrating our 1-year anniversary of launching the Ignite Academy course, and so we're giving 50% off through the month of June. So take advantage of that. It's our signature program called the Activator Program, and it's all about growth strategies through referrals. So I'm Amy D. Kilpatrick, and I hope you've enjoyed today's installment of our tips on Tuesdays at 10 o'clock. Of course, my mouse won't work. There we go. Bye.